All right, guys, I actually got to start recording because it's after 8. So this is, well, my tour for you and whoever happens to ever want to listen to this again. Google Classrooms, all right? So some of this stuff you may actually already know, but I was told to actually start off from the beginning, kind of run you guys through it as in order to set certain things up. There are more advanced things that I may or may not be able to get to in the 50 minutes that this is actually supposed to run. So if I do miss out on something, I'll probably actually stop the recording at the regular scheduled time, but free to stay around, for that extra half hour that we have for any kind of questions. The thing is what you're going to actually use. Where is the actual Google Classroom? All right, the Google Classroom itself, all right, is pretty easy because we all actually have it. All right, in order to get to it though, you need to actually sign into Chrome. All right, if you've signed into Chrome, one of the most useful things in there is these boxes right here, also known as the Google Apps menu. When you click on it, it should actually be in your top portion of boxes. If it's not, as you go below that menu thing, you'll see a thing that says more. You click on more and it's sitting down there. So if it's something you plan on going back to often, I would actually click on it, all right, and do a drag and drop. So you can actually click on it and move them around. There's like a nice little illustration of something like that would be if I were, there we go. Excuse me. There. Over here, all right, if I was to click on this and wanted to move something around, I could just do this, and you can see that it goes wherever I want to. All right. Super easy. No problem. Now, once you've actually done that, if you're a first timer, all right, when you click on this, it's going to actually ask you to create a class. All right. Which is super easy, barely an inconvenience. All right, you'll see that it's in the upper right-hand corner. Almost everything that you go to, all right, when you first start interacting with it in Google is going to be in the upper right-hand corner. Once you've actually opened whatever it is that you're going for, then your interactions will take place over on the left-hand side. All right, so creating it, all you need to do is actually click on the plus, and then you have a choice of joining or creating. All right, so in this case you're actually going to create. All right, and in doing so it gives you another menu. So if you guys are wanting to create one now, and the nice thing is if you create this class and all of a sudden you don't like it, you don't have to keep it. I got a bunch of classes that are still sitting around, and the only reason why I keep them is because I've actually stolen stuff from one class to use in another class. All right, you can actually build a repository of assignments and materials and stuff that you can use in different classes. Now, with this, you can get pretty detailed. You can give it a name. You can get a section number, subject, as well as a room number. Once you get all those done, you hit create. All right. And now that you actually have created a class, you can actually click up on the gear, which of course is in the upper right-hand corner, right? And you can actually go to look at some of the information. You can interact with it and change some things around. This is your settings area, one of which is your class code. Your class code is what you'll actually use to get students into your class. You can change it, all right? The only thing is that you can't set it, if you will. You don't get to decide what the code actually is. All right, it's completely random. You can actually change it even after the kids get in as a way of stopping anybody else from getting in. If you're paranoid like that. One of the things I would suggest though is down here where it says stream, all right, is only teachers can post or comment. Now, if you have no problem with your kids actually posting comments, go ahead. I would suggest, at least when you first start out, to leave it like that. The classroom work, there are a couple of suggestions inside this one, which I'll actually talk about a little bit later. One of which I like is the show's attachments and details. The more details you actually get to see, kind of the better off you're actually going to be on this one. All right? So also in here, all right, this is those two options that you actually have when it comes to how your stream is actually displayed. This top one here, which unknowingly to me came in a little bit darker. It looked different on a different screen. This guy right here actually says it's the condensed option, all right, which is the one I do not choose because it just shows you that there's an assignment there. There's no more information for you to actually learn about this thing and your students' interaction with it. The one below it is the one that I go with, which is the attachments and details option, which actually shows you all the attachments that you have put into this assignment. It shows you the number of kids who have been assigned yet have not turned it in, and it shows you those who have turned it in. All right. Now, also, you will, there will be a third column that will show up that will actually tell you, all right, if there are assignments that need to be graded. And also, you can receive emails too that tell you whether students have actually turned stuff in, or if they've resubmitted items for grading, which is pretty nice. Now, adding students. There's actually two ways of doing it. All right. The first one is if you guys who already have a class, you've probably already done it this way because it's super easy, and you can be sure right then and there that they're in. All right. Is actually posting this card, which is available at the front of the class. All right. That it comes in from the main menu, which I'll show you here in a second. And my classes, see, this is the Google Classroom one. It would look like this, all right? And you can see that here's my code, which, see how it looks just like that one, all right? The code's actually placed right here. Once the class is actually created, you can click on this to go big for the kids, or you can go even bigger in case they can't see it otherwise. All right. You can actually also go into people, all right, down here, and you can add people through this way, which if you had an email list, this is nice because you can actually cut and paste and throw them in there and send them all an email inviting them to the class. Now, I say inviting, all right? That does not mean that you've actually grabbed them and put them in there. It's not the same thing as making a group in Google Groups. In Google Groups, you can basically force somebody into your group. All right, this way they actually have to still take the invitation, which is not a problem,
That's a nice one for new students, like if they come in after the class is already established.
And for the new students, that's one thing too, is that when they come in, they're like, how do I get there? They get there the same way you do, is actually here, all right, and they click, they actually have it. They may not even know they actually have it, because usually for theirs, it's probably sitting a little bit lower down. Or it's like, oh, classroom, I don't want to look at anything related to the classroom on the internet, all right? So they're probably not paying attention to it. Now, this is how I went through that one. Let's go to people, all right, plus, invite, all right. You can also do the same thing with teachers. So see, I'm actually going to click a link to it. And redirecting and getting there. You can actually add teachers. So I could actually come in here and add, somebody. I don't know if they could actually do it pretty quickly though. Yeah, there's Thompson. So see, like that, boom. I just invited Thompson to actually be part of my class. And it's like, yay! And I was like, what does that actually mean? That means that Thompson could actually interact with my class. It also means that she could, do stuff I don't want her to do with my class. All right. Now I will be able to see that if she interacts with certain things, I will be able to see that it's actually her doing it. And if there's only two of us in the class as teachers, if I didn't do it, I know she did. But the really nice thing is, if you share with another teacher, that means if they have some really cool assignment you liked and they had almost all of it set up perfectly, but if you were going to have it, you'd change it just a little bit, you can now borrow that assignment from them. Now also, inside here, when you get to the people section, there's a place where you can actually do an interaction with the people. And I'll show you that. So now that I actually have a person, all right, which is Thompson, if I actually, click in here, I only got one right now, so I can email her, remove her, all right, or make her the class owner. So literally, if like, oh, that's nice, is like you did a really good job. I could duplicate an entire class with her in it and then make her the owner and leave it. And I was like, wow, so she got all of those assignments you created and stuff like that, and with just a few clicks, and it's now hers, and she can do whatever she wants to with it. Yep. It's like, remember those days of, you know what, I've got some really cool worksheets for you. I was like, I'll run some copies off, and then you put them in your filing cabinet and forget about them. I was like, now you can do that in the digital world. Yeah. No. Now, also, all right, we're going to go on into the workplace, or where classwork's done. In here, all right, you have the assignments. Now, on mine, unfortunately, I have the thing called Cami assignment. I'm not talking to you about that one because Cami is another piece of software. It's like it's an app that goes along with the classroom, just in the same way that like Edpuzzle does. All right. If my Edpuzzle one was actually turned on, it would also show up in here, but we're not going to talk about that because that's a whole nother line of information. But what I will actually do is talk about these other ones. So the first one would be assignment. Now in the assignment area, all right, once you actually click on it, you have to actually start adding some information to it, all right, of which, what class is it that you actually want to have this assignment for? And you're like, I'm already in that class, Mr. Stubaker. You guys just saw that the class that I'm in over here, all right, if I went to this and started creating classwork, I'm going to make an assignment. You see, I just did that actually over there. Do you notice it says right here, but I have an option? Do you see all these other classes I have? I could pick an assignment. I could make an assignment for any of these classes from here if I want to. Same thing is too, is like all the kids I have. Guess how many kids I got right now? None. So it just says all students. If I were to go to another class, I can make an assignment for this kid, that kid, that kid, and that kid, and that's it. All right? And they're the only ones that would actually be able to have access to it, or that I'd actually do any grades on. Put a nice little title in. This is something that the kids actually see. All right? So you should make it descriptive. The instruction area, depending on what type of assignment you have going on, this may be where you want the directions. But I would say, though, is that if you're going to have a rubric, don't squeeze it in here. You can make it an entirely separate page. All right? And making it an entirely separate page allows you to let them look at it and not touch it. In the sense that they're like, well, I didn't see that. And I was like, everybody got one. And I know you did because it's now in your drive. All right? Because it's going to allow you to actually see that. Now, down with the points. In the points section, it can be ungraded, all right? Or it could actually be worth some kind of obscure amount of points, like 7. Like, why is it worth 7 points? I don't know. I just like 7. You can do whatever you want to on it. Your due date, all right? It will actually jump forward a little bit for you. As you can see here, it picks the 22nd. You can pick whatever you want to on that. You also can go with optional times. Now, does it actually stop them from delivering it after that time? No, but it does actually let you know that it came in late. All right, so if you have penalties for lateness, no problem on that one. All right. Now, topics, you can actually start creating a topic straight from here. Or if you've already created a topic up in the classwork area, because there's a spot where it says topics, we'll talk about in a little bit, you just add it to it. So let's say that this entire thing, all these assignments you're doing has to do with Chapter 5. If you wanted to, you could just say Chapter 5. You could say that it was about a particular book or a particular segment of history or a particular science principle or something along that lines. You get to decide what it is. And this allows you to organize things later on so that when you go into your topics area, you can go, oh, wow, there's all the stuff that I have dealing with this. Now, once that's all decided, all right, I got to catch myself back up to where I was before. All right, so you can see here, I'm going to do a little review. All right, we've picked students. All right, we got a title. We've given instructions. We've put some sort of score down. All right, now this also can be changed later. So just because you haven't decided a score yet doesn't mean that you can go from ungraded to graded, and back and forth again. That's up to you.
She
Yes.
hit me.
Oh, no violence, please.
I raised my hand. Thank God. If you change, can you change the points once the students have worked?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll say this: if you've actually already given students points, and then you change what number of points it is, it's still not really a big issue.
Okay. Does it regrade the first ones?
Well, it sticks with the number that you gave originally.
Okay.
So if it's out of 100, and let's say the kid got 95, and you're like, well, that wasn't really worth that many points. Let's make it out of 10. All right. Then it's going to actually have a problem with the number at that point, but you'll be able to fix it. Due dates. All right. Due dates are kind of nice. And it also actually, this due date, when you do this, it also puts it on your calendar. Yeah. So the kids would actually be able to see it as well. All right. Especially if you keep them linked, because once they're in this class, they also get to see that calendar as well. And of course, adding topics are nice because basically, think of a topic as a folder. All right. However, you also do have folders, because when you create a class, the class itself has a folder in your drive. Now, next thing, all right, is attachments. There are all kinds of attachments. The very first one, which is a paperclip, is one that's actually pretty much meant to actually pull one right off of your computer. All right. Now, since you're a Googling teacher, you have a Google Drive. Chances are you're probably going to use the next one. All right, which comes. It's going to take you to a place basically like your drive in your classroom. Excuse me, in your Google Drive. Now, if I pull over mine, I'm going to try to. There we go. It's in yours. And mine, you can see like mine has a little blue folder on here. All right, you can actually change the color of your folder if you want. Here's mine actually. And you can see there's a few classes in there of stuff. And I can actually pull stuff from all different types of classes. I may actually look at ones, say, here's the class that we're in right now. Here's a class that I've been doing stuff in. Here's a good one. Inside this one, these particular documents, these are all the ones that kids have actually turned in to me. I can actually look at them whenever I want to, because what I did is how I set the actual assignment up. All right, and I'm going to show you that one in a little bit. The important thing is how I gave this assignment to the kids, because when I did it, it made it actually my worksheet that they're working on in their drive, so that I can look at it whenever I want to. If you have them create the document, you only get to see it after they turn it in, which, could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, depending on how you actually set things up. Another one we have is YouTube. All right, you can actually throw a YouTube video straight in here. You can actually click on this and do a search for one. If you're just looking for one going, man, I have a topic like this, and I'd like to have a video go along with it, you can put it in there. If you already have the YouTube's URL for it, you can throw that in there too. Now, our last one here is actually a link. All right, so like this one, I could actually have a link that goes straight to Edpuzzle, which Edpuzzle is a interesting combination of a Google form and a YouTube video playing at the same time. But that's another session. All right, then, we have the option of, you know what, I did all that work and stuff, and man, that sucks. The assignment just looks stupid. I can throw it in the trash if you want to. Now, your next option is, once all that stuff's been in place, you're going to get a blue button like this, all right, that has a little arrow on it. You have three options. You can click and assign right away, and that means it goes active and kids see it instantly. Or you could actually schedule it. You could say, you know what, I plan on not being here because of something next Friday. Guess what, kids? Next Friday, when our class starts, this becomes available. And since I want you to work on it the entire time while you're here, it's due at the end of class at this time. So you literally are kind of, virtually teaching them. And you could throw all the different supportive materials along with it. And also save as draft. Like you're like, I'm working on it, and I was like, but I'm not done. I want to add some more stuff to it. Save it to a draft. It kind of puts it in a little subcategory and grays things out, and nobody else can actually see it, except for whoever else you've asked in as a teacher. So they could be working on it with you. All right, quizzes. All right. Now, setting up a quiz. The quiz that they have in here, all right, actually is a Google form, all right? You could do it through this the same way that you could actually do a quiz through Google form, all right, to which when you finish that, of course, a Google form actually creates a spreadsheet, and if you set it up correctly, all right, which I could show you, you could actually take that Google form to make a Google sheet that creates the grades, all right, then you can export out of Google and import straight into Moodle. So it's hands-off. Of course, unless it's like essay questions. Then you got a little bit of hands-on. Now with this, it's pretty easy, straightforward. The question category, all right, that's in here is, think of it in a sense like a Google form in a way, except it only asks like one question. This would be a good way of doing the entrance exit ticket type ideas in a classroom, because you could actually make it available, not make it available, and so forth, and it's a nice repository for it. Besides, you could also add certain things to it too that, well, watch this video and tell me why is this guy doing this? And it's like, oh, okay, and the kid actually has to watch the video then, or, read this passage and give me a reflection on it. There's a whole bunch of different things you could actually do with the question one. Oh, I'm sorry. You actually have short answer and multiple choice. That would be me backing up here to tell you here. As you can see, this one says short answer right there. All right. And multiple choice. It can also be graded or ungraded, depending on what your choices are. Students can actually reply to other students. That's I would say a pedagogy thing. I'm going to leave that up to you if you want to do that or not. All right. Students can actually edit their answers. So it could be just a one-time, one deal, boom, that's it. Or you could actually have them, correct it or make a reflection on their previous thoughts and stuff like that. That's something. And then lastly, you have a choice here at the end. Instead of it saying assign, it'll say ask. The button will turn blue, in which you'll actually get the options of assign, schedule, or save as a draft. So you could actually have these things done right away over a period of time, and or just save it for a draft for later. Materials, kind of think of materials as an assignment without a grade. So all the things that you could actually do in a regular assignment, you can do with the materials, but it's just like a place to actually store certain things. Think of it as a place to put reference materials that you might have in mind for the student, and so that it might be able to go along with it. I would have to say most often though, this one is not used because of how flexible the assignment one actually is. And where the stuff is actually can be stored for assignments, you can actually store them back there, like I said, here in this drive. All right. In Computer 6, I have these ones here but I could actually store anything else that I wanted to in here. So for instance, I'm going to go back to my class here, and this one is the one that we're in right now. You can see I don't have anything in because I kind of made a fake class, but I can actually put a Google Doc in here, all right, and see how it says create and share. That means that if I give somebody access to it, this drive, which means who am I sharing it with right now, all right, I'm sharing it with the classroom, not the kids. Classroom, the app, all right, so that they can actually have interactions with it. So for this one here, I'm just going to say, you know, it's April 19th. Oops, look at that, me in the past. All right, and I'm just going to call it like that just for right now. All right, nothing special to it, and of course will automatically save itself because it is it's docs. If I come back into here later on and interact with this one, which I'm going to show you, is I'll be able to make things available to you guys. All right. So once we've actually created several of them, all right, we have an option of actually reusing former posts. Now, if you have several classes, you can reuse a post from any of those classes, all right, providing that you haven't actually deleted the material that goes along with it. And you can also create topics, all right. You have a calendar. This here is actually just a small segment of calendars that I actually have that you can turn on and off. How do you actually use and manipulate your calendars, all right, for their benefit would actually be in another video. I have to say this, if you're not really well acquainted with calendar, when this one actually goes active in our gamification professional development, it's a really good one to go take a look at, because some of the things that you can actually do in it aren't well publicized, but they could actually help you out a lot in keeping things organized. Now, once you've actually finished a class and you say, well, you know, I'm probably not going to use this for a while, you can actually go into it and archive it. Now, it doesn't mean it's completely gone. It just means that it's not open for available activity. Now, you can actually go in and actually remove all the kids from it, teachers if you want to, before you archive it. That way nobody else has any real access to it. You can actually move these around. So if I were to show you mine, and here, these are the ones that are actually currently active. All right, but if I go up to this menu and scroll all the way down to my archive classes, you'll see that these guys are also in there, to which you can actually then interact with them. See, I can actually move this one, all right, make a copy of it, restore it, or delete it forever if I wanted to. Since we have a near unlimited storage capacity, all right, don't delete stuff, all right, because as soon as you do, you're going to wish you had it. And you never know when you might actually use it again. But I'd have to say is that, you know, here's a glimpse into the calendar, but this is the same calendar that you're actually connected to from anywhere else in Chrome. Now, that's all I was really going to talk about with this one. I mean, yes, only 30 minutes long, except I thought, what the heck, I would go back through and take you guys through a little bit more stuff. And that is setting up a document like this one, all right, in the actual class itself. So I'm going to go back into the fake class that we've been working with. This one here, and I'm going to show you about making an assignment, all right, so that you can actually, you know, have kids interact with it. So I'm going to go to Classroom. I'm going to create an assignment, all right, and I'm just going to call it Today, because it's today. Today. Ta-da! All right, there you go. Instructions. Look at it. Exclamation point, because I really mean it. I was like, when do I want you to actually look at it? Let's say by Saturday. And by when? I was like, by midnight. Because everybody likes to work on stuff by midnight. And creating a topic for it. I don't know. There we go. Topic's useless. And now, I'm going to attach something to it. And I was like, what am I going to attach? I'm going to go to my drive to see something and go most recently. As you can see, most recently is this one here. All right. So I can double click on it or click and then hit add. Once I've done that, I get options. All right. Students can view this file. All right. Students can edit or make a copy. Now the view one is one I would actually choose for you guys for a rubric. All right. Why? Because they don't necessarily need to have it actually in their drive. All right. And allowing kids to edit your rubric, that's probably the stupidest thing I think you could probably do. But hey, you know, I'm still learning to be a teacher too. So, all right. And lastly here would be make a copy. If I do this one, as soon as they open this assignment, all right, and they're in this class, bam, it's in their drive. All right. So on this one, now I said here I could actually assign schedule. I'm going to go ahead and straight assign this one right off, and it's moving through space and time. Bingo, there it is. Now, if I go out here on the front in my streaming one, you'll see it right there. Now, there's nothing really to actually add beyond this one. All right, but I'd actually like to go back here. All right, and I go down, and it's like show condensed. I like the one that actually shows the attachments. All right, students can post. All right, and it's like no, it's like only the teacher can. Then you got to hit save. One of the few times, you know, in a Google item where you actually have to hit save. All right, now in doing that, you can see that 0 turned in, 0 been assigned. Right there it is. But if I were to go out and say, hey kiddos, I want you guys to sign into my class. And I was like, if you guys are out there, somebody join my class, please. Do a little demo. All you have to do is actually, have you joined? Wait, Thompson?
Yeah.
No, she's a teacher. Wait, no, hold on a sec, Thompson. I'm gonna sorry for these words, but boom, you're no longer a teacher.
Okay. I thought I was helping.
Now I'm gonna make you a student.
Oh.
Boom. Okay, you're out now. All right, so go back to streaming. It was like, now, as this is actually going on, thank God that went to that screen. Okay. Where are we at? Oh, okay. So I need you to actually join a class. So click on the plus symbol in the upper right-hand corner and go join. And then type in that thing up there.
She's lost.
Oh.
I'm trying to join, but I can't find
Okay.
it.
Actually, go out. Click on yours on the upper left-hand corner. Click. No. Go down to the menu button. Click there. All right. Click home. It's at the very top.
Classes.
Yeah, click classes. Excuse me. All right. Now click the plus symbol in the upper right-hand corner. There. All right. Join. Yeah, and put that one in. All right. So if you're going to be in, you're in. So, all right. Wow, that was 7 of you. Thanks. All right. Now that you guys are actually in here, all right, see how there are 7 of them? Now, if you wanted to, yeah, you could click in and you could.
I just turned one in. If you want to see it.
All right. Now, okay, she turned one in. I'm going to hit refresh. All right. And you can see one's turned in. Yeah. Now, if I click on the turned in ones, I have a choice here. I could actually click on the assigned ones, which shows me all the people who didn't turn it in. All right. Or as you can see back here, if I click on turned in there, just those 2 will actually show up. Now, if they actually are in their document, all right, and I'm in mine, and I'm over here, I can actually see them actually in their document. So, Thompson, if you will, go back out to the page where the assignment is and open up that particular one that I had. Now, here's Thompson's, all right, and what I'm going to do then, excuse me, there we go. Oh, all right, this is actually Thompson's. As you can see, there she is, all right. As it comes in, it's going to show me that, see, there she is too, all right, and she's actually typing. So I can do a couple of different things while I'm in here, all right. I can actually comment on stuff, so I can actually highlight this, and actually, if I move this over, all right, sorry, move this over. You can see if I highlight something, I can actually click over here, and I can make a comment if I wanted to, all right. Boom, there goes my comment. Now, Thompson actually has the right to sit here and resolve that particular one that I've just put in. Or she could actually add to it. See, she just actually resolved it. When she did that, I got an email that said she resolved the issue I told her to fix. Sweet way of doing it. Another option, though, is with this guy. All right, under suggestion mode, all right, and mind you, stay aware of which one you are in. The edit mode, all right, nice. This one's actually nice because if you go with suggestion, and this is going to blow you away, all right, under suggestion, let's say that I like this one, but I want it to be just even something as ridiculous as I need it to be bold, italicized, and underlined. You notice now that it has the green brackets around it like that, and it's actually kind of forming a comment over here telling her to make it bold, all right, and so forth. And like this. See that check mark? All right, Thompson can see it actually on hers. All right, you can see both of these kind of on the same screen. Watch what happens when she clicks that check mark. It took my suggestion. So if you're using this to say, hey kiddo, you need to change your spelling on this, all kiddo has to do is click what you suggested it to be. The kid doesn't actually have to look this stuff up. All right, so that's not the most super awesome way, most likely for any of you guys to do this. But you can bring other stuff in if you're not in the suggestion mode, all right? Or if you do with suggestion mode and you could type up a whole little line of going, hey, maybe you should look at this stuff. And that's a good one because they can also still exit that one out and it puts the suggestion right inside the material. The kid doesn't actually have to look off to the right to find the stuff, all right? But if they hit the check mark and you say, hey, I think you should look up some more information about, Harriet Tubman, and they go, check mark, like I agree, your sentence now just became part of their paper, all right? That's one thing you might want to be cautious of. But see, now as Thompson works on this, I can do anything I want to Thompson's paper. All right, there you go. And it's like, I'm suggesting deleting it because I'm still in suggestion mode. If I pick edit, I'm like, yeah, take that, Thompson. And they're like, oh my God, you did not just do that. And it's like, yes, I did. And I was like, so what's that actually mean? Well, here, if you see this, I can actually go under here, all right, and go into revisions, all right, and see revision history. Now, you guys have probably seen this one before, but you may not have interacted with it in the same way. Watch, if I click this arrow, all right, I get more stuff that actually has happened, as you can see. And it's like, look, what did Mr. Studebaker do? He deleted stuff off my paper. It was like, yes. I was like, Google's watching your kids and Google's watching you. So if you delete something, your kid's going to know it too because they get to see the same revision history. So they're like, I didn't do that, you did it. And they're like, sorry, So it's really good in that sense that it allows them to find stuff. And I tell you, being able to do things through this and you being able to watch over the shoulder of them, they could be at home working on this one and, you could be helping them from anywhere. And especially because you can actually use this through your phone too. If you have little tiny fingers and you can actually see better, but you actually still have that interaction with it. Now with this on Thompson's, it's like, as you can see here, I've got other people that have turned ones in. It tells me who's actually turned ones in, and I can just pop back and forth around to those people who've actually turned ones in and go in and actually grade those ones Now, once I've actually done that and I want to start grading, I can pop this back out and go to the grades. There is a private comment section that you could put in here too. All right. There's also one that at the end, like here, let's say that, I wanted to actually return an assignment. All right. I have the option of returning just one, or I can return multiple ones. If I go to return multiple ones like this, I can actually decide which of these multiple ones that I've interacted with that I want to return. I could go with all of them. All right. Or I could just go with 2 of them. All right. If I do pick that, all right, and say I want to return, they're going to end up actually receiving whatever information I actually had on that. Now, as you notice, they didn't actually get a grade, right? But I returned it to them because it could say, fix this and return it. Now, when they get that, they're going to have to unsubmit the document in order to make the changes because currently it's in your in basket. All right. Not a problem. By the time most of you that are in here right now get these kids, I will probably already run through them on this. All right, so not a big deal. Yes.
I have a question that, once in that little green box, which one of those would you use if you just want to put a comment in, like that was a great paragraph without it, or maybe put the grade for the paper?
Well, if you wanted to put the grade actually on the paper,
yeah.
Well, because see, here's where the grade would actually go. And when they actually receive it, here's a beautiful way of looking at it. Let's say Lynn's been nice. He's going to get a Hondo, all right? And so I'm going to return that to him. All right. Now, if I were to actually go over, I'm going to actually hijack his computer for a minute. This is his computer. He's actually, he's going to get a grade for it. If he actually goes out, all right, to the actual classroom itself, all right, you can see that it's assigned and that it's actually been graded, all right, he can actually then, I'm trying to see if these ones, there we go to coursework like that, and here's his. I want to say, did I actually add there? I might have not added a grade to it. Hold on a sec. I want to take your computer away for a minute, Lynn. Oh, no. And, sorry. There you go. All right, see there, yeah, there's Lynn's actual score. Lynn should actually be able to see that. No.
You cheated. You got the date right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think where it is. Why is it not showing me? It's like, oh wait, sorry. Instructions, what's that? That's great. Oh, shucks. Hold on a second. That's the reason why. I'm sorry. Is when Lynn actually got it. I shouldn't have actually graded Lynn's because he didn't actually turn it in yet.
Well, I turned mine in, and I noticed that once I turned it in, I could not.
Yeah, once you turn it in, it's mine.
Make changes, right?
Yeah. Now, if you wanted to, like here, there's Sharon's. All right. If I take Sharon's and actually, grade Sharon's because she'd actually turned it in, all right, and then leave. What was it?